Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Investing Bros. It is Monday, June 5th, and it is going to be a great show lined up for you guys today. It's crazy. Not a lot of news today, no matter what show you guys are watching, because I'm gonna be watching a couple different crypto shows today, but not a whole heck of a lot of news, but we do have some stories for you. The biggest thing, though, coming out this morning, though, is data that suggests that a bullish rally is around the corner for Bitcoin, even Ethereum. We're going to jump into that here in just a couple of minutes. So make sure you do not go anywhere. Go ahead and smash that like button because we are the Investing Bros, the most generous community here on crypto YouTube. I am joined this morning, unfortunately, not by T-Shroom because he's still at training. Speaking of T-Shroom, I've been doing my push-ups. Let me know in chat. Have you guys been doing your push-ups in solidarity with T-Shroom? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been trying. I did one run. It's really hard when you don't run ever at all. To just get in the swing of things of running like a mile a day. But I'm trying my best. Let me know in chat what you guys are doing. However, I am joined by the Texas man, Mr. Army Piper. How are you doing this morning, Piper?
Brother, I am doing better than I deserve. Little shout out there for T-Shroom. So, gotta give him some love.
I forgot this morning to grab my quote of the day. So I'm working right now to get it for you guys. But here we go. I got it. Don't go to my screen just yet. That's my other T-Shroom line here this morning. Don't go to my screen just yet. And let me get rid of that ad. I don't know why that ad's even up here. Well, it's still there. Whatever. Go to my screen. We got our quote of the day. And you guys, while T-Shroom is out, we're going to go with Tim quotes of the day, which means every single day will be another office quote. This one coming from Michael, one of my all-time favorite quotes I've ever seen from him on that show. Don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone for any reason, ever, no matter what, no matter where, no matter who you are with, or where you are going, or where you have been, ever, for any reason whatsoever. What a beautiful, beautiful quote. Great words of advice from Mr. Michael Scott. Piper, what do you think about this quote?
That is straight word salad, man.
It's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Again, let me know in chat, guys. How many of you guys? Let me see. I want to think how to phrase this question. How many of you guys do you think Office is a top 5 show? I know some people are very particular with their shows. How many of you guys think that The Office is a top 5 show? Put a 1 in chat if you think it's a top 5 show ever. If you hate The Office, hit the dislike button and then smash the like button. Just get rid of it. But I want to see some dislikes smashed because that's just sad. That's really sad if you guys do not enjoy The Office. It is, in my opinion, I know not everyone's going to agree, but I think it's the greatest show ever made all time. Piper, what is the greatest show ever made?
Greatest show ever made. Oh man, geez. I'm gonna have to go with either How I Met Your Mother or Big Bang Theory.
Hey, go to your screen real quick, Piper. Go to your face because my camera's bugging out again. I just got to restart it. Yeah, there we go.
I'm right here. I got it. And while you do that, I'm gonna go ahead and start reading some names off. And then you can cut back in and run with it. So I'm tracking that the first person today was Crypto Pew Pew Cruz. Love the name. Love that he was first. That is awesome. And then the second person was a Mellow Fellow. So thank you guys for being early. Come early, come often. But we've also got Joe Nickel in here. We got Crypto Trades this morning. Elo Brown, Ninja Glock with the saying, "Hey bros, good morning." Elo Brown said, "Let's see Tim pronounce some of these names." It's me today doing this. So, yeah, I kind of helped you out there a little bit. Who else we got? We got Crux of Crypto with the blue wrench in there. He just got that newsletter all put together. It's going to be coming out here shortly today. So shout out to Crux for all the hard work he does over there. We appreciate him. We got Eric Wallen. He said you should have said significant amounts of crypto on centralized exchanges. Then no, I don't. Crypto AI, he's talking about the poll. If you guys don't know, we have a poll today, and Tim's going to be going over it. So just stand by on that. Yeah. Elo Brown, only a small trade back. Mike Lowry in here. Ada Ace in here. He said, hit the like. Let's get it. I agree. Hit the like and let's get it, guys. We got Ben Redden in here. Good morning, bros. We got Brokoshi No Dinero. Nice. Very clever, Brokoshi No Dinero. Mike Play in here. We just got a downward dislike button hit there, so obviously someone does not like your show. Mike Play. We got Eric Wallen again. We've got Curtis Rourke in here saying, good morning, bro. Sir Mugiara. We've got Crypto JMP in here. Nancy Croy. She said, Ada all the way. Let's go. Ada all the way. Love it. We've also got Average Crypto Joe in here, Rick Wilson, Ninja Glock. Who else? I've said some of these names already. Max PP, he's in here. Philly Skills, 1428 in the house. We got Indo Crypto. We've got French Toaster. That's an
I'll
easy
say
one to
that
read.
was the name I saw that I liked. I hadn't seen that name recently. French Toaster. I don't know if I've seen that name before. French Toaster. Is this one of the first couple of times you've watched it, or first couple of times commenting? Because I love that name and I want to see more of it.
We got Crimson Caravan Company. We've got is DeGenny from the blockchain in here, because DeGenny from the blockchain did a tweet and tagged us all in it, and he was doing his push-ups for T-Shroom. So
I saw. Yeah.
shout out to him. Anybody in here? Let's see here. Average Crypto Joe. Man, a lot of Brian D. We got Brian D in here. We got John Foster Crypto, Eric Brubaker, and Gia S wrapping it up. So I got through all the names for you. Oh, I missed one. Dennis Vaccarano. So there we go.
Hey,
I think I got all the names, and I don't think I butchered any names. If I butchered your name, I apologize. If I missed your name, it doesn't mean that we don't love you. It just means Tim has got to run the show. So Tim, back to you.
Yes, it is time. You know we love you guys. I saw Crux. I'm a little disappointed in you, Crux. Crux says that quote was all over the place, which implies, Crux, that you have never seen the show, which is very disheartening to me. But I saw some shows in here that were really good. How I Met Your Mother is a great one. That one definitely is up there as well. Someone said
it's legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is also a great show. You know what's surprisingly not in my top 5 show that people are probably gonna find the most flack with me? I think probably the 2 most common shows in a top 5 list that neither one of them are in my top 5 is Friends and Seinfeld. I'm sorry. Like, they're not terrible shows. I've seen both of them pretty much almost every episode. They just, to me, I know that they were the groundbreakers. I know they laid the foundation for how shows are now created.
No, Cheers laid the foundation.
Maybe. I don't know. I know Friends.
Cheers was around long before Friends, and Cheers is a classic.
Let us know in chat what is your. I know some people have already commented, but let us know in chat what is your. Go ahead and put top 3. I mean, that's a lot. Put your top 3 favorite TV shows of all time. Maybe we'll do some reading with that a little bit later. Guys, because we have a day that's a little bit lighter of news, we're still going to do our technical analysis. We're still going to look at the economics. We're going to read some stories, but we're going to engage with you guys a lot more. And sometimes we'll engage crypto. But be prepared, guys. I want you guys to know and prepare our community for this. We believe, we used to call it the Bitcoin winter here months ago. We're talking about the price action of the Bitcoin winter. It was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I do believe that Bitcoin's price winter is over. I do believe the bottom is in. I think that we have nowhere but sideways and up and to the right to go for Bitcoin. The problem is the attention and the interest winter, I believe, is just now starting. Do not be surprised, guys. Even if we get a push up, I think it might get a little interesting to get a push up to 36,000, maybe even 42. Of course, that'd be interesting. But then it's going to crush your spirit when it drops back down to 25.2. We're going to hover in this range, and it really we're going to listen to. There's one person's opinion that believes that we might get some relief later on this fall. My personal belief is more like winter. Like the winter will end the crypto winter. Here in January, February of this next year when the real bull market starts. But I want you guys to be locked in, because here's the thing. Even though news will start to get boring and price action will start to get boring and we're going to be moving sideways, the people who stay invested and stay involved on the daily basis right now are the people who in the next bull market top. We're talking about late 2025. You guys are going to be the ones who know when to take profit. You're going to be the ones making a lot of money because you sat in the boring section in the winter and stayed locked into investing in yourself, in your education. What that means, though, guys, is that we're going to have fun talking crypto, but we also might have some fun talking about personal stuff as well. That's a part of a community. We are a family here. We're going to talk about a lot.
We are.
I just rambled on a lot there, but we're going to jump into, and speaking of boring, there's not a lot happening on the economic front, but we're going to cover it anyways. Piper, of the little that is out there, what are we seeing on the economic front?
All right, Tim, let's jump over there. So, looking today, guys, we are looking here at the big one today, ISM Services PMI. And I'll be honest, I'm not even really quite sure what this actually measures. It's slightly higher, blah, blah, blah. It's a rebound to export orders. Okay, so it's export orders and supplier delivery services. Yeah, nothing major on that front today. Like I said, when you asked me if there was anything big, I was like, there is one, but I don't know that it's a big factor in what we look at for economic data. So, but this week we do have the balance of trade coming in, and we do have initial jobless claims coming in on Thursday, and
Hmm.
that's it, guys. This is it. This is the week. Macroeconomic news this week is going to consist of me going like this. Not a lot going on today, but let's go ahead and jump over into Trueflation, see what it looks like today.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's look at Trueflation today, guys. Looking at 2.85% down, another 200 tenths of a percent there. So still well under 2% of what the US government's reporting on the inflation rate. Curious to see how that all plays out. Let's go ahead and take a look over here. Hit that 24-hour button. Let's go see what we got here. We got $14.4 million in liquidations. And all this was somebody making poor choices, handing it over to somebody making better choices. And that's what those liquidations are. That money doesn't go anywhere except to the person who had the better call. So there you go. Somebody made bad choices and gave $14.4 million to somebody with better choices there yesterday. 9.5 of those million of those being longs, 4.8 million of those being shorts. Let's look at ETH. 9.2 million of liquidations in the past 24 hours on Ethereum. Got the others here, which means that it wasn't a lot of other things. Look, XRP's on the list, and I haven't seen that. Wow, Luna Classic is on here with 1.9 million in liquidation. So Luna C making some moves there yesterday, guys. I don't know why. If you're still
Hmm.
playing around with Luna, have fun with it. I've got a little bit sitting that I had bought that's locked up in Voyager. I'll get 35% of that back. So hey, who knows? I'll just let it sit there. At this point, I already wrote it off as a loss, so I might as well just let it play and run. So yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what we're looking at. Binance having the highest number of liquidations in the past 24 hours. So actually, that's the 4 hour. Let me click this 24. I don't know why I couldn't click that earlier, and we'll see what it says. Let's see. Yeah, Binance still $23.6 million in liquidations total. So that's what we're looking at there. And that is what I have for macroeconomic news. Tim, kicking it back to you.
There we go. Well, let's take a look at what we're seeing with the FOMC Fed tool. We got 9 days left, guys, until the next FOMC meeting. And there's an article we're going to be talking about later where this is referenced, and there's a people's opinions that we're not done raising rates. However, as it stands right now, we are predicting with almost 76% chance that we're going to go ahead and pause for this month. You guys know this was big because here, literally about a week ago, it was almost 80% saying we were going to raise another 25 basis points. But of course, all the debt ceiling stuff came out. I'm still confused on the timing and the releases of all that and when it affected what it affected, because it was looking like a sure thing. I mean, how many people actually thought we weren't going to raise the
That's
debt ceiling and
that's
go into
why
the
I
fall?
popped over here. That's why I
Yeah,
popped in here. I was like, man, this has done a 180 from where it was at last week. This is insane.
I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't really make sense. Nothing has really changed unless the people voting on this honestly thought that our politicians were gonna let the government go bankrupt, which it would have really sucked. But there's moments where you don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world. Anyway,
Well,
good news for crypto. What?
Jerome Powell may be finding his center right now too.
Maybe,
He may be doing some
maybe.
internal processing time because I don't know if you heard this or not, but he was seen at a Grateful Dead concert this weekend.
Wow.
So Jay Powell is a deadhead, just so you know.
Well, that's that you never thought you'd hear it, but you're here to hear first, guys. Jay Powell really surprising us. The update we do have here, and again, it's not with significant conviction, but December, we're actually projecting right now to go ahead and stay paused. So if I were to go through all these, I'm assuming June, it says we're going to pause. July, it says actually it's predicting right now that July will be a rate hike. So it is going to be a cut here at some point. We're going to stay, it says, in September, and that means in November there's going to be a rate cut back to 5.25, and in December it will hold. So we'll keep you guys posted on what is happening there. At the moment, though, still a lot of confusion. I don't think anybody, like as great as we love this tool, I don't think anybody really knows what the Fed's going to do. Even Jerome Powell and the people at the Fed, they might have what they want to do in the back of their brain, but I think that they're sitting here riding a roller coaster just like the rest of us. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. It is sitting at 53 this morning, a little higher than what we've seen over the last little bit. Let's go to the last 7 days. I do believe this is the highest we've been the last 7 days at 53. Were we at 53 here? I guess we were at 53 here just a couple of days ago. So we're sitting a little bit higher here on Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, but still a whole lot of nothing. We're sitting in the neutral area. Piper kind of did this. We don't do this all the time, but I wanted to take a look at this morning. Let's start with our normal market cap here. A lot of the top ones down somewhere in the region of about 0.2%. Some of these not really much at all, but nothing's really down a whole heck of a lot this morning, but nothing's necessarily up either. Our top gainers of the day so far, Terra Classic. Well, that was one that you said had a lot of liquidations, correct, Piper?
Yeah, but I think it was most likely going to be short liquidations there. I think there were a lot of people
That's what I
got
imagine.
thinking it was going to reverse and go down, and they got wiped out, wrecked.
Yeah. Look at this. I mean, look over here if it's going to let me. Okay, it didn't really want me to look at that chart. Reject all cookies. I don't want the cookies. Are you going to let me? Okay, I got to zoom out here. Look at the chart right there. Man, a nice little spike here for Luna Classic. That's one, though, that looks like it's going to come down very quickly. It is up 13% in the last 7 days as well. Kava having a nice little day right there. The Sandbox, we don't have it in the stories, but the speculation, Piper, with the new headsets from Apple could be a part of the reasons why Sandbox has a little bit of green here this morning. Not a lot, a little bit.
And Decentraland Mana and Sandbox both
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
both getting speculation pumps that the Apple's new VR headset entering into the metaverse is going to be bullish for them. So a lot of speculation going on in those two assets there. So
yeah, let's take a look at the biggest losers of the day. Pepe down almost 9%. Sui's down 8%. Yeah, so we got Sui, layer one, just continually getting killed. Let me take a look at that real quick. I want to see its chart here from this angle. Let's go out to our 1 year, even though it's not that old of a coin. Yeah, not a lot of time spent in the green since its release. It's been down a lot. But you know what they say, what goes down usually comes up. I don't know. Sui's so new. I don't know if we can say that with any type of conviction whatsoever.
They also have a big token, another release of tokens coming out. Either they've already done it or it's coming up. But they've got one of the worst tokenomics. Archie took a look at Sui at one point, and he said this is like absolutely, like when he looks at small gems and small caps, he said the tokenomics that he looks at, this fails every single test. So yeah, Sui, horrible tokenomics. So
goodness gracious. Well, go ahead and go off my screen. Go back to our bro cam here. We're about to do some TA this morning. We told you guys though we're at 9:18 here. We're a little bit sitting here behind, but I did see some great comments over here. Elo Brown says can't raise the rates when the chief commander can't stand up without falling over. I don't know if that's a law, Elo Brown, but it's good thought right there. Although he was sandbagged. He was sandbagged is what they're telling us now. Don't know what the excuse for hitting his head on the helicopter was, but maybe there's another sandbag or something. Crux of Crypto says, shout out Tim and Piper. Thank you so much, Crux. So Rick Wilson said, you not reckon it'll have a big pullback on Fed pivot? He said this a little bit ago. A pullback on Fed pivot. You mean the price of Bitcoin would have a pullback during a Fed pivot? I think what Rick is kind of getting at here, and Piper, you and I have both talked about this before. Traditionally, in the stock market, in traditional finance, when we have a pivot from the Fed, we usually get a pullback. And it's very possible that still happens. I don't know though. Like I was on a Twitter Spaces where someone was kind of making that same speculation, and I was like, well, your same logic of saying we've never seen Bitcoin be in this serious of an economic problem and saying, well, we don't know how Bitcoin's going to respond, so we're going to just assume it goes down. I'm like, well, because it's never been in this big of an economic problem. In fact, it was created because of the last massive economic problem. we can't say without any certainty that when we get a pivot from the Fed while the stock market falls, maybe that's the catalyst that actually makes Bitcoin split off and go to the upside. I'm not saying that that's going to happen 100%, but the fact that it was created to be an inflation against catastrophic financial disasters like what we're seeing happen right now, potentially we're seeing people actually move in that direction and say that is the hedge they want to go at. Piper, what are your quick thoughts about that? And then we'll jump into some TA.
Yeah, I got a scenario here that actually plays out well for Bitcoin. So,
Yeah.
T-bills, one of the big things that's going on this week is the federal government, because of the increase of the debt ceiling, um, is going to be doing 3 auctions on T-bills, treasury bills for the federal government, and that the results of that could pull a lot of money out of the banking sector and into the T-bills, and because of that, that could cause more pain for the banks, causing them to have to raise the rates and stuff on top of that, which means less money coming in while money's coming out. And we know what the result is on Bitcoin when we have money coming out of banks and the banks start having problems. Bitcoin pumps. So there is a scenario there where Bitcoin pumps through all of this because of it, not
Yeah.
despite it. So, and then Kush is my cologne 810 said, shout out to you for that name, by the way. But he said, can you do TA on Kava today? And I know that we have a little bit lighter news side, so we'll see if we can squeeze it in for you there, Kush.
Yeah, I think we might be able to get a little bit in there. We'll go kind of breeze through this, even though it's Monday morning. There's not a whole lot that changed. Let's go ahead and go to my screen here, Piper. Take a look at what's happening over on Bitcoin. I got a lot of chaos up on my screen this morning, down on the 4-hour chart. But you guys are going to see. Let me go ahead and get rid of this for just a second. You're going to see we're not really far off. We're down about 6% from where we were about a week ago or so, back when we were testing this red descending level of resistance on our trading channel, this falling trading channel. But we're back down here. There's just a lot of support happening down here, though. Right here, we have a very, very high, what do you call this? This is a block. This I don't know why I'm blanking on what the name of it is. It's an order block here. So we got support from an order block sitting down here all the way at 26,400 or so. And then you pull up our fixed range volume profile I just took down. Let's go back to the opening of Q2 back on April 1st. You're going to see we're sitting right here. Both the point of control and the value area low are right in the same region. This is a nice little zone, strong support we have. And I put this in our newsletter. You guys who read the newsletter, you'll see this as well. We just flashed this morning on the 4-hour chart and oversold little trigger right here on the oscillators from Chart Prime. This is really big. Also, we got our RSI primed right here, getting overextended below the 30. So despite the fact that we're down 6% on the week for Bitcoin, everybody, we're sitting on a lot of support. And I told you guys last week, I just want to remind you once again, do we break bullish every single time? No, we don't do it every single time. Nothing is 100% in technical analysis. You got to remember that technical analysis is like educated guessing. The same way if you play blackjack, there's nothing when you go to a blackjack table in Las Vegas, there's nothing that's gonna make you 100% of a winner, but there's a reason why they kick out card counters, because card counters win more often than not because they play probabilities. Well, same thing here with technical analysis. You're not going to win every single one, but you learn to read the probabilities higher. And the highest probability when we're looking at a formation like this with a falling level of support, a falling level of resistance, you're looking for a breakout to happen between a fifth and seventh wave, give or take, to the upside. Does it have to? No. We could break to the downside, but there's a lot of reasons to suspect that Bitcoin still has room to move to the upside. In fact, we're going to talk about this here in just a little bit in the news section. There's some on-chain data showing major bullish signs. Like every single time we see this movement on-chain data, it's usually followed by bullish price action. So we're looking at the charts. We're looking at ourselves get into this stronger support level that we see not only from our fixed range volume profile, but also from our order blocks here with Chart Prime. We're seeing the oscillators come in as well. Let's take a look at our Fibonacci levels going back over here from this bottom to the top right here. And you're going to see we're kind of bouncing right between the golden pocket and our diamond pocket right here, our platinum pocket. I don't know why I said diamond. Getting confused with our Patreon grouping right here. I would not be surprised, guys, to see a drop down to this 0.786 right here on this order block, right here at 26,400. And guess what? You're going to see the bears coming out of the woodwork. You're going to see them saying, oh, here we go. Bitcoin's going down. But let's just take a look, guys. Let's just take a look at the come on, Tim, hit the right button for once. Look at the volatility that has happened ever since we came up here and hit 31. This was the top of this falling channel. The bears got really, really loud right here, and then the bulls got really, really loud, and the bears are loud, and then the bulls are loud, and you're seeing the volatility starting to constrict. We talked about this last week. This is one of the new cool tools that Chart Prime has. It tells you how high of a rating the consolidation is at, and when the consolidation is sitting high, that's a good sign that a breakout is coming soon. On the daily chart, we're seeing an 8. We're seeing 8s almost everywhere across these top ranges, which means a breakout is coming soon. Despite the fact that we have volatility, the volatility is starting to tighten a little bit. You guys are seeing our dynamic reactor begin to climb here on the daily chart. Whereas before we thought we might get a touch closer towards that 25.2. Now, if we touch our dynamic reactor, we're still hovering probably somewhere closer to 26,000 being a strong level of support. So keep your eyes on this. Continue to wait for a breakout. We'll talk more in the news section about the on-chain data saying that Bitcoin should be bullish. But as it stands this morning, we're just in a little bit more volatility. Nothing crazy is happening. Let's take a quick look at Cardano. Cardano continues to hold its own support up here. We're in a little bit of a rising trading channel that should have another wave hit Cardano back up towards 50 cents here. We've been talking about that since last week, keeping our eyes there. Would not be surprised, again, to see Bitcoin shoot up to 36,000, maybe make a push towards 42, see Cardano shoot up towards 50 cents, see Ethereum shoot up maybe towards that 2,400, 2,500 range. But we're still sitting with nice, strong support, not only for Bitcoin, but for Cardano as well. I want to throw it over to Piper here in just a second to do some Ethereum and maybe let him do the Kava TA this morning. I know he's probably going to take a look at XRP as well, but the Dixie, the US dollar is making a little bit of a push this morning. Let's go back down to the 4-hour chart. We topped out here the other day about 104, and what was this? 104 and about 26 cents. Well, it's pushing back up here, has some room to run on the 4-hour chart. On the daily chart, though, we're still sitting in a spot where I would say we were massively overextended. We're going to make another push. We could set new highs here. We could make a push up to this order block here, back up to the 0.382, around 105. But again, despite the fact that this is going up, I do still think when we're looking at the news, when we're looking at everything, charts, news, macro, everything else, this is kind of a going out of sale rally for Dixie, for the dollar before really, really a lot of pain comes into play with the money printers being turned back on. So keep your eyes on this, though. Crypto will continue to be suppressed if the Dixie keeps climbing like this. But again, everything is setting up for this to be a crash and a hard crash. The question is when, not if. Piper, why don't you go ahead and take it over and show us some Ethereum TA this morning?
Absolutely. I do find it very interesting, though, that we're getting that rejection on that lower gold trade band of the predictive ranges there, though.
For now, yeah. For now, we are.
For now,
What I don't
we'll
like
keep
is
an eye
the
on
fact.
that.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, what I don't like is the fact that so I'll just speak kind of openly. I still think the Dixie's going down for a more macro timeline, but the fact that we rejected right there, got super high, like this, the RSI primed right here, got all the way up. I told you guys the other day, it got up above 90. It's not a good sign for anything when it gets above 90, but the fact that we dropped and are now starting to make another push and we're getting back up to these same levels, despite the fact that the candles are a lot lower, this to me says that I think the price will go a little higher. But what's going to happen is it's going to set up some bearish divergence where the peaks of the RSI will go to the downside. At the same time, we'll see the price move to the upside. And so despite the fact that we'll have higher prices on the Dixie, it will set up a reversal pattern. We just got to be a little bit patient.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, while I'm getting in here to do my TA on some assets here, D Jenny from the blockchain said, Tim, how many hours are you in the chart finding trade ideas, especially with the newborn?
Yeah, so Piper and I actually talked about this the other day. Piper, I really want Piper to do a lot more on our channel with some really nitty-gritty trade setups. He does a lot more of the smaller trading than I do. Guys, what I'm at the phase of life in right now, especially with a move recently and with having a new baby and having a new house and having a new job and trying to get everything done, I'm really more of a spot buyer and spot seller. So I'm not necessarily entering any trades of like, hey, I'm gonna enter this trade with the hopes of getting like 2% profit and then going out. I'm a lot more doing. Go ahead.
However, we do have a new sponsor coming that
Yes.
you will be doing some more trading on.
Yeah, I'll probably do some little trades here and there. Just I won't be doing this massive sitting down and looking for all this stuff. What I'm looking at, guys, I love right now looking between that 4-hour and daily chart and looking for good spots to buy and sell. I still will accumulate from time to time. I haven't been moving a lot of money from my bank account into crypto to do stuff. I have some money on the side that I'm moving from one crypto to another, but it's not very often. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's not very often because I'm in this for the long game. There are seasons to be a trader where you trade multiple times throughout the week. There are seasons to kind of sit and be patient, especially with everything I have going on in life. I sit and be patient. But to answer your question to Jenny, I still probably look at the charts for probably 2 to 3 hours a day, not only for this show and everything else, but I am constantly wanting to update myself on, hey, what's the price doing? What's the price moving like? What's the volume looking like? Because that all impacts, even though I'm only buying and selling here and there, maybe a couple times a month, I want to keep my eyes on the chart to know when those best times are going to be.
Yep, absolutely. I have a feeling, Tim, when you start to do your trading with our sponsor, it's probably
Yeah.
going to be a lot of ADA, and that's fine. Guys, you don't have to trade everything in the markets. All you have to do, and a lot of times it's the best way to do it, it's what I do, is find an asset, get intimate with it, and start to understand its movements and how its behavior. So that's the best way a lot of times to trade. You don't have to find every asset. You just need to find good trades on the asset you follow. So let's go ahead and jump over into the charts here, and I'll show you what I'm looking at for Ethereum, guys. Looking right here, you can see Ethereum on the 4-hour, lots of breaker blocks sitting below us. What breaker blocks are, they are order blocks that have lost their liquidity. They're still alive. There's still a little bit in there, but not enough to make it measurable. That's lots of breaker blocks sitting below us here, and then we've got a medium order block coming in right here. Let me go ahead and grab that draw tool. There we go. Little medium block sitting right there. However, guys, watch for this dynamic sidekick. Yes, this is a indicator coming soon. I promise you it's coming. It's going to be integrated into the Pro Suite as a turn on, turn off, but you can see here getting a lot of confluence right here with this breaker block. So I do think that even if we lose this breaker block, we're probably going to come down, catch this and this breaker block for the next level of support. And that's going to be coming in at about 1850. I think great psychological number and a lot of confluence there. Let's take a look at these chart patterns, guys. We are currently in a falling wedge right now. You can see that we got a confirmed breakout. That's that red X right there. And this is the retest, but we're getting a lot of rejection right here on the value area high. This is the value area high of this fixed range volume profile over here. And watching this right now with that much rejection, going to be interesting to see how we break out of that. However, inside of this wedge, we also have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. If we take this line here, measure this from the blue line, the neckline here to the head of this pattern. Let's go ahead and grab this and pull it over here, see what it's going to look like. Yeah, that's going to be putting us at about $2,000, 2015, somewhere around there. So it is possible we go up there. However, I'm seeing some other bearishness in the higher time frames. Let's finish this 4-hour first, though. I'll show you here. Does look like the money flow and the trend fusion is showing more downside coming. Again, I do think that there's some good support below us, especially down here at the point of control. That's this dash red line right here. That's going to be at about 1815. So not looking too worried with what we have below us, but the oscillators definitely showing downside has occurred. Right now, it does look like we're getting a curvature on the traditional prime oscillator pro here. And if you look at the RSI prime, we are getting back down to the bottom. The last time we were down here was this point here, and we took off. We hit it here, another one back to the upside. So do expect a little bit of a pull down, but I do think that 1850 range is going to be key. And if not the 1850 range, then watch for 1815 for your support zones. And then we'll see these oscillators all start to pull back to the upside. Now, the thing that I was talking about that I do have a little concern about, though, is if I go over here to the 12-hour, guys, and we take a look at the RSI prime, we got an EG that fired off. Now, keep in mind, they don't always have major drops. We had one right here. And that led this little pull down, which we hit one of our upper trade bands of the prime predictive ranges there. And then we had another one here, which gave us the pull down to the point of control. So yes, we do get these on 12 hours. And, typically like one here, this led to this upside. Guys, this free indicator, crushing it, man. But we do have one right here right now. And I do think if we take a look, we're going to be hitting really good support, though, guys. I'm not overly concerned. I think, again, 1850 range right here, even on the 12-hour, is giving us good support there. That is what I'm seeing on here. Let's go ahead and throw my fibs on. You'll see we're still well inside, just ranging, grinding sideways here. Let me go ahead and throw on the Oracle Pro. Let's take a look at the scores on this. Prime score is still an 8, but consolidation is at a 7, which means we're doing a lot of ranging right now as we speak. And that really is taking place right here in between the platinum pocket. So I know you guys have heard me talk about this platinum pocket over and over and over again, but because we've talked about it over and over and over again, should be justification that this thing is in play and in play hard. So let's jump over to XRP and check out some XRP. Shout out to the XRP Army out there. You know, I love all of you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look here at XRP, guys. I told you guys last week on Monday that I expected that we were going to retest the 786 right here. Let me grab the tool. There we go. 786, and that we would probably reject at the 887. Well, on Saturday, the end of the week, that is where we got rejection from. So if you guys had entered down here on the 786 for a long and then sold at the 887, you would have done great last week, because that's exactly what it did. But we have now broken as of 8 o'clock in the morning, yesterday morning, my time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we have broken the 887 and are now retesting it as support. So be watching for more potential upside to XRP, guys. I'm watching it right now. I'm currently in a long on it. So small accumulation, nothing big, nothing major. But I do see that the money flow is still looking really strong here. If we look at the pro oscillator here, we did get the red tick downtrend arrow right here, but we came down to find that support off of that. So it got negated, had the divergences again, came down, found support, retested on the 887, got bought up. So a lot of buying pressure here at the 887 at about 53 cents, guys. I will point out, though, that we did get an engulfing candle pattern over here also on the prime RSI prime. So what could this possibly be, this pull down that got absorbed up here by the buying pressure versus the selling pressure? It's quite possible, but definitely something to keep an eye on is that 53 cent mark on the 887 there. Let's go ahead and throw on the fixed range, see where it's sitting at here and what we got. Can you load for me, please? Thank you, Louis, baby. There we go. Okay. Yeah, did not want to comply. Value area high on XRP, guys, sitting all the way down here in an order block. That's this purple line right here. So we are way above fixed range volume profile, support areas and all that, and resistance areas. So this could be the move. This could be the breakout. You know, once we get above this wick right here, going back to March of 29 March of this year, that once we break that, it's fair game, guys. It's fair game. So we do have a, I would be looking at 59.1 cents right here at a lower trade band of the predictive ranges. So that's what I see there. Do you want me to jump into that Kava real fast, or do we want to go?
Yeah, I think we might, because where we are with time. Let's do Kava tomorrow. Let's come back tomorrow, guys. We're gonna do some Kava TA. I'm love all the stuff we've done, the TA we've done this morning, but we do need to go over and check the stock market really quickly. Update community on anything big happening this week. Like I know there's one big announcement for tonight. I want to make sure they get up to date on that, and then we're gonna go through some of the stories, because there's not a whole lot of stories, but there's a couple, and they're important here. Let's take a look. Let me jump over and show the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and NASDAQ really quickly, just kind of updating where we were. You can go and there you go, share my screen here. So we told you guys last week, keep your eyes on a little bit of a rally here. There is right here on this S&P 500 around 4,300 or so. There is an order block to keep your eyes on right there. After that, we're looking at maybe another rejection here of our rising trading channel on the Dow Jones. But as it stands right now, we are pushing to the upside, getting a little bit of a flash of overbought here on the daily chart. That RSI is high for certain, but this doesn't mean that this push is over just yet. We've been a little overextended here for a while. Lots of peak seekers over here that were ignored. And you guys know we've talked about this before. When you're getting these strong of bearish indicators, yet the price keeps going up, that just tells you how strong of a bullish momentum whatever that asset is. And when it comes to this case, that S&P 500 is sitting very nicely. It broke through after rejecting several times on the upper gold trading band of the the predictive ranges here, excuse me. It broke through that. So next level, we're kind of looking there. Order block right here. We have our next red line kind of matching, kind of close with that rising level of resistance. Keep your eyes up here towards 43 and as low as 4,300. Lower levels, maybe the upper 43s, maybe pushing towards 44 as well for S&P 500. Dow Jones, of the big three stocks, big three, of this big three of the stock market, it's probably the least bullish. However, it has a little bit of a push it can make up to match a falling level of resistance here with kind of a more broadening wedge. Also, it has a very high order block sitting up here towards 34,500. Maybe makes a push all the way towards 35.8. Give or take. Keep your eyes there as well. Both these, they're continuing to climb this morning. Technically, the Dow Jones is down 0.01%, but it's kind of flirting with turning green. When it comes to the NASDAQ, however, this is the one we talked about last time. It not only broke out of a rising wedge, which usually is bearish, it's now touching this purple line, deciding, does it want to take our predictive ranges here at Chart Prime and flip them and make brand new levels. We have multiple overbought flashes where our RSI is sitting super high all the way up here. What is this? Over 90. Again, traditionally, you don't love seeing this. This is kind of a spot you're saying, man, I want to sell. I absolutely would not be recommending buying into the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, or the S&P 500 right now, but they are bullish, kind of signaling, hey, there's a lot of bullish momentum kind of happening right now in these stocks because the dollar, there's just nobody that actually trusts the dollar. Despite the fact that the Dixie, we showed this before, is still climbing, people just do not trust it. And that's the reason why you're seeing these three continue to climb. Piper, any thoughts you have on the stock market before we move on to community?
Yeah, I just want to say that this week was week one for the Dow Jones having a green closing week in a row. NASDAQ's had 6 of them. So,
Yeah, NASDAQ's
yeah,
been on fire.
yeah, NASDAQ is absolutely crushing it. However, we could see a shift from the tech to start to consolidate because it has had such a good run, which means that the Dow Jones or S&P could be the next one to start to take a run as they move sectors there. Because people like to bounce around the sectors like we like to bounce around in crypto. So,
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and transition over into some more community stuff. Let's go take a look at chat. I know, Piper, you have an announcement about tonight. What are you doing tonight, Piper?
I will be on Around the Blockchain tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so come over there, give me a shout out, give me the plus ones. Please give me all the plus ones. Because I'm gonna get be on ATV. So let's go. Love ATV, love being over there with Drew, and excited to see who I get to compete with tonight. Hopefully it's not Piano Matter B.
I know it's a hard one. He is a fan favorite. I'm going to be on, I think, Wednesday this week too. So we'll have 2 investing bros on this week, representing the community well. Let's see here. Anything in chat before we keep moving on? I did say that Crux of Crypto announced just over here. So the newsletter is out. If you guys do not follow our newsletter, it's absolutely free. Doesn't hurt you just to click on it, go support it. But there's some great stuff in there. Crux is doing a phenomenal job continuing to keep that updated, even with T-Shroom out. Cannot wait for T-Shroom to get back, but the newsletter is still doing awesome. Make sure you guys go sign up for that. Is that in the link down below, Piper?
I don't know. I don't think it is. Crux, can you throw a link here in the chat for us, and we will update the description later.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is, but we definitely need to get it there.
Hey, you know
But
what
yeah,
else is
guys,
free?
what is that?
Doing this right here. Hitting
Boom.
that like button, subscribe, notification bell, sharing it with your friends. Share it with your friends to tell them how great of a show Investing Bros is because we love our community. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
free.
let's go ahead and transition into some headlines. And I want to start off by addressing one. I don't have it on my page, but I know, Piper, you and I talked about it this morning. I don't know why I don't have it as one of my articles. Let's start off by talking about Atomic Wallet. Piper, what do you know about what's happening over there? I know this has been big all this weekend. Give us a kind of a lowdown for anyone who maybe hasn't heard what happened. What's going on with Atomic Wallet right now? I don't know why, but I can't hear you.
Of course you can't, because I'm
Um,
king of the mute button. Um, I something like $35 million, I believe, in
wow.
stolen money, or it might be 23 million. It's in the millions. Once you
Hmm.
break 20 million, doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, a lot of people got hacked over there. There was a massive. I know Digital Asset News. Rob, he's a good friend of mine. Um, we were actually supposed to get together today, but I told him I'm on ATB, so we can't get together because he actually is in the El Paso area. So he was talking about it like early into the weekend. He was like warning guys, get your money off of this wallet. We're starting to hear stories of people missing
Hmm.
money, and evidently it continued all weekend long. There was a security issue with it. And yeah, it's a hot wallet, just so you guys know. It's not a cold storage, it's a hot
Yeah.
wallet. So connected to the internet, someone found a weakness, exploited it, and that's down it goes. So yeah, guys, be careful where you put your money at. I'm telling you, if it connects to the internet, it's not as safe as a cold storage. And
Hmm.
even then, nothing is 100% safe. So please be careful out there, and mind where you're keeping your money at. So
Yeah, I mean, this is a time that everyone needs to continue to do their research, continue to think through what they want to do with their money. Because here's the thing, we're not even going to sugarcoat it. You can't trust banks. You can't trust keeping your money in fiat currency over in the banks. It's very scary right now. You can't trust keep your money on centralized exchanges. I asked earlier in the poll, how many of you guys keep a lot of crypto on centralized exchanges? There was a lot of people that said yes. Well, guess what? We're seeing things come out where the government is really, especially here in the US, really pushing these centralized exchanges to let them have kind of a backdoor if they don't like something that you guys do. We just saw that story here last week. The IRS just got approved by a judge that they're allowed to go in and look at your Coinbase account and all of your trading, and they're allowed to see what you do, and then they can withhold funds if they don't like how much you paid in taxes. That's scary. Then we had the whole shabacle happen with cold wallets. We had Ledger, one of the most trusted, the most used cold wallets, kind of come out and announce that they had a backdoor in their ledger, in their product, that allowed for potentially the government to ask and subpoena them to give that information over. There are definitely still options out there, guys, but if you're just willy-nilly dropping your hard-earned value, I'm not even going to call it money. Money is simply value. It is a value of what you have done, and you store it that way. Whatever you store it as, whether you store it as fiat, whether you store it as crypto, whether you store it as stocks, whether you store it as real estate, you do not want to just trust one person's opinion, hear one person's thoughts, and then go move your money there. Continue to do your research on where your value should be stored, because if it is truly valuable to you, and I'm assuming it is, because most of us are out here working more than 40 hours a week to not only put food on the table and pay for our houses, but we're also trying to better our lives despite the fact that our governments are not running our economies very well. If that's important to you to have that value, it also should be important to you to continue to do more research as to where those right places are. And guess what? You're never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that comes out of the blue. That's another reason why you probably should be diversifying. Maybe don't even hold them all in one wallet or one exchange or one bank or whatever you do. You want to keep being diversified. Continue to think how to protect your value at all costs. With that
yep.
said, let's go ahead and transition here into some stories. The
Hey,
first one, like, yep.
Victor Lopez asked, what is the go-to cold storage now that Ledger had this debacle? Ledger has now rolled back on that because they got such feedback from the community. I think Ledger is still fine. So,
Mm.
not financial advice. That's my opinion, but you know,
Yeah, I,
go
I
ahead.
think for the most part, people overreact to that. I think it for the most part is safe, but it's not like if you are potentially. I don't know if we have any listeners who are at least close to being billionaires. I would say Ledger is kind of dangerous for people who hold a large amount of wealth, because those are the ones that potentially could get targeted. For people like me who only own a couple of Bitcoin, a couple of Ethereum, a couple of Cardano, a couple of things here and there, my net worth is not at $1 million. I don't know if I just shocked people's worlds. I've seen people be out there saying that Tim is this multimillionaire. That's not true. I'm just a modest guy who 3 years ago was struggled to pay bills and now very comfortably pays his bills and is investing for the future. I'm not worried about myself getting hacked and get the government coming in and doing something crazy. But I am worried for people who have more wealth and more value than I do. So if that's you, You're the one who's like, hey, keep looking for that. And you know what? We're going to do more digging on that. I want to create some more content that is like that about, hey, where is the safest place to be doing X, Y, Z? So look forward to some content like that.
Good
We're going to
call.
continue to do some more research there and give you guys some good answers. Let's go through some of these stories. We hinted at this one, but exchange inflows for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and major stablecoins decline at a significant pace. Now, you guys have been in crypto for a little bit. You guys know just from the headline that this is bullish. But let's dig into some of the details here. This is data from Glassnode. According to the data, exchange inflows for major assets have been hovering at an extremely quiet $1.84 billion. Notably, this is about 10.36 billion lower than the peak inflow experienced across May 2021 sell-off. So here's a chart here, right here, guys. You guys can see this orange line is the inflows, the outflow. It's the inflows coming in where exchanges have a lot of money. You guys can see a lot of these big peaks, and I'm sure we would see it if we went back in time as well. But notice it's not at the very tops. It's right after tops have big dips. This, of course, was back when Elon Musk announced that Tesla would be selling their Bitcoin. This, of course, right here, I believe this is the Terra Luna collapse because it was Luna then Celsius, correct? I think, yeah, Luna then Celsius. So this is where Terra Luna had his whole shabacle. Notice it didn't hit the peak, but what happened was a lot of money got put onto exchanges so them to then liquidate it out. We're sitting extremely low right now. You also see some peaks here. It's about to rally here, but we're sitting extremely low. We're going to continue to scroll on this article, but as it stands, when you're looking at this on-chain data, these lows actually usually mark times where the price is going to increase. The reason for this, just very simply, is as people are taking their money off of exchanges, that means they do not want to be getting rid of it. It's really easy. My mouse is bugging out again. I'm just
Yes,
going
it
to
is. It is bugging bad.
That's really rough, guys. So let me walk you through the logic of this, guys. When I want to sell my Bitcoin, I have to put it on an exchange to go sell it. That's how I have to do it at this point. When I do not want to sell my Bitcoin and I want to keep it safe and I want to hold it, I take it off exchanges. So what you see every single time you see these orange increases that my mouses are bugging out over, that is people who saw that craziness happen and said, uh-oh, I need to get out now. They ran and shoved their Bitcoin on exchange and hit the sell button. And then you see that massive fall in exchange money, because then when they liked their price levels, they went ahead and took it right back off, right? So that's what we're seeing here is that, yes, we saw a massive amount come on exchange here just a couple of months ago as we're moving to the upside, but now we're back in a spot where we're sitting extremely low with very little Bitcoin on exchange. Let's keep scrolling, though, and take a look at some other things. The drawdown represents about 85% decline from the peak about 2 years ago. Analysts anticipate this to be largely driven by the recent capitulation and exit liquidity events. Notably, large inflows represent bearish sentiment, while declining values signify the opposite. I kind of said that here just a second ago, but I wanted to highlight it anyway. This has to do with stable coins, and there is one, USDT. And guys, you're gonna need to forgive me for just a second. Let me zoom out just a little so you can see this, because I think my face is. What the heck did I just click? I don't know what this is. There we go. What the heck did I just click? All right, this is embarrassing. Here we go. Let's go back here a second. Tether, this kind of teal line, it is increasing. The supply of Tether is increasing. Now, one thing you might see that, though, Tether being one of the largest stable coins, probably the largest stable coin right now, according to what does CoinMarketCap say? I don't even know which one is technically ranked above the others. You do sometimes see that stable coin value go a little bit up because they want to be buying here very soon, but every other stable coin is starting to move to the downside. In fact, the aggregated top 5 stable coin supply is kind of getting low here. Let's kind of read a little bit about this. Where did I have it? Did I lose all of my stuff here? I might have. Let's see. I'm going to read this whole line. At the same time, another set of data derived from exchange on-chain flows reveals that there has been considerably weaker demand since April. Glassnode's data suggests that major shifts underway in stablecoins, with the USDT supply at new all-time highs, while USDC and BUSD fell to multi-year lows. Notably, considering that stablecoins are non-interest-bearing and regulatory pressures in the U.S., is building. It suggests U.S. capital is now less active in digital assets. Let's take a look down here. Also, we had talked about Ethereum. This is the Ethereum chart. Looking at Ethereum supply over, it is sitting extremely low. This is exchange balance in blue. This is the price in USD here. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and move on. I don't know why I don't have more highlighted there, but last thing, notably the decline in asset supply on exchanges is generally seen as a bullish sign for several reasons. One of the key reasons behind it is implied to be that there are fewer coins available on exchanges to be sold. This limited availability can create a supply-demand imbalance, potentially driving up the prices in assets. Let's go to Brocam for just a second here, Piper. Yeah, I miss T-Shirt. I love when T-Shirt gets to break these things down. What are your thoughts though after seeing these charts, Piper? Do you agree that this is bullish, or do you think this is more of a coincidence?
Well, I'm bullish in general, so of course I'm going to have a
Yeah.
bias that this is even more bullish. But uh, that last piece that you were talking about there, reading it about the available assets and the demand on price and so on and so forth. Like we're seeing that right now with the availability of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Like the
Mm-hmm.
liquidity is getting there's not a lot sitting on exchanges, like guys, especially on Ethereum. It just had a record-breaking staking event. So, yeah, I'm bullish in general, but this makes me just a little bit more bullish.
Yeah, it's always good to see that, and that's what we talked about earlier. The charts, the charts are kind of sitting in a middle ground where it really depends on how you look at them. There are going to be some people that are the cup half full people who say that's bullish. There's people that are cup half empty that say bearish. It's sitting in a neutral ground. That's why seeing things like this, seeing on-chain data showing historically when we see these things happen, we're about to rise bullish, that gives you confidence if your opinion is more bullish. When you're looking at the macroeconomic data, when you're looking at the charts, that's just one more thing to add on there and say, hey, again, nothing is 100%. I want people to understand when we trade Bitcoin, when we invest in Bitcoin, when we do this stuff, there's not a single person in the world that knows with 100% certainty that when they buy, the price will go up or that when they sell, the price will go down. Nobody. Even the best of the best
True.
traders, they don't know that. They are
Nope.
just taking as much data as they can and making as informed of a guess and a gamble as they can. But guess what? Because they know how to look for a lot of data, their gamble pays off more often than not, and that's what makes them profitable. We only have a couple of minutes left here. I want to get through a couple of these other stories. Might not get through all of them, but BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says U.S. is jeopardizing the dollar's reserve currency status. I'm going to go ahead and we're not going to read through this one, guys. This is kind of a, hey, no duh, but it's good to see even people from BlackRock, which, not a very friendly company here. Don't really love them, but he's even starting to come out and say, guys, what we're doing is putting us at risk. We've been talking about this for a long time. He also says, I guess the one thing I wanted to highlight, he believes the Fed is not finished. Inflation is too strong, too sticky. He said there are pockets of problems such as commercial real estate sector. He believes that there will be two more. I don't know where I had it highlighted, but he believes there will be two more interest rate hikes coming for the US dollar. Let me know in chat what you guys think about that. Another bull we have here is Arthur Hayes, and he expects the Bitcoin next bull market to start by October. Let me see which one of these is probably the best one. In terms of U.S. federal government, the pundit projected that politicians would continue to prioritize spending at the same time the government's borrowing would persist, resulting in trillions of dollars of debt being accumulated every single year. Pretty much, I want to speed through this because we only have a couple minutes left here. But he says, I believe the real fireworks and the real Bitcoin bull market will begin in the late third and early fourth quarter of this year. Between now and then, chill. Go take a vacation, enjoy nature and the company of your friends and family, because come this fall, you better be strapped in to your trading spaceship. It's ready for liftoff. I expect Bitcoin will remain resilient at this level. I do not anticipate a retest of 20,000 or anything close to it. Listen, Arthur Hayes, love him. I'm my timeline's a little bit later than his. I've told you guys earlier on in this show, I'm looking at more like January, February, but this is really cool to see somebody who I believe is a lot smarter than me saying, hey, I'm looking at all this economic data. I'm looking at all this, and I'm saying, watch for quarter three, quarter four for a Bitcoin bull market to start. But he is repeating sentiment we talked about earlier, Piper, and that is, it's going to continue to be boring here for just a second. So, guys, go take a vacation, go chill. I don't agree with that part. I think you should stay locked in and continue to educate yourself. But what are your thoughts about that, Piper?
No, he's actually right in line with the projections that I've been making for over a year now. That the end of quarter three, going into quarter four, was going to be the pump moment, if you will. It's going to be the point of no return, right? That we start to move up and we don't
Mm-hmm.
revisit lower lows. Um, but I've already been putting myself in position for that. So I've been in chill mode for a while. Everyone that
Yep.
stresses out, and I'm like, man, I was buying Ethereum at $1,075, so I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm in chill mode. I've already got vacations planned, so let's go. I'm going to Cozumel in September. So
Yeah. Well, last story we have here, and we're going to close it up with this one, just in case you guys did not see it. Jack Dorsey, former CEO of Twitter, really heavy Bitcoin advocate, is supporting RFK, Robert Kennedy Jr. He's saying that he will beat either Trump or DeSantis, whoever the Republican nominee is. Jack Dorsey, I think most people knew this. I think he did. It's always been known he leaned more left. He's more of a Democrat. There goes my mouse bugging again. But this is big news. Do you guys agree? Do you think that there's actually a chance? Just go back to Brocam. Do you think there's a chance that Jack Dorsey is right, and that first of all, that Kennedy will beat Biden in the primaries, and then do you think he actually stands a legitimate chance of beating Trump or DeSantis? We'll have to talk about that more in another episode, because it is time to go ahead and wrap up for today. But everyone who's watching right now, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. We are the Investing Bros, the most generous crypto community out there. If you guys want to support our channel, make sure you check out all the links down below. Subscribe to our YouTube. Go follow all of us on Twitter. Join our free Discord, and we will continue to grow with you guys. That being said, we'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a great day.
later.
Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.